Yo.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in three, two, 1.
On the troll.
Yes, it's morning. It is that time of the night. Yes, guys, today we don't have Emily. Emily is not here due to things that cannot be explained here. Right, so we are here. We are not going to discuss much about Senzo. Actually, we are going to discuss nothing about Senzo, but mostly about the people that at some point attended Senzo's case, or even one of them is actually still in Senzo's case, which is Mshololo. Now, the other person who for many years has been part of the case is actually Teffo Malisela. Right, here we are going to discuss what is currently happening with regards to crime intelligence members that were arrested for allegedly doing crime, right? I'm not going to discuss what they did or what people are saying they did, but I'm going to discuss the dynamics of what actually should we be seeing in that court, or maybe what we couldn't have expected and we're seeing today, right? So the gist of the story is that, and greetings to everyone, guys. Please like the video. Even though I'm alone, please like the video. The gist of the story is that they are applying for relaxation of the bail condition. The bail condition, which amongst other things was actually dealing with the fact that they should not go back to their respective positions, effectively minimizing them. I don't understand the gist of what came into the judge there, what was in his mind. Because, I mean, if you say they should not go back to work and the commissioner probably is not ready to give them any other post, so what are you putting them on leave? You know, that's why this judgment is looking rather suspicious, if you ask me. The streets of the Twitter and the social media, people have been talking about it. It really looks suspicious. I mean, whatever that you needed to rule, but to actually go into the operational side and say they should not go back to work. So the main applicants here is Mshololo and the crime intelligence team. Mshololo is representing the crime intelligence team. Now, the first thing that came into that court was Teffo. I mean, you wouldn't have expected to see Teffo there, but from the streets of social media, you could have had that, oh, Teffo is going to be there actually wanting to be a friend of a court as a mere citizen, not as an advocate, a mere citizen. And I will deal with that. I will delve deep in that and explain what exactly is at play there, right? So here are some of the submissions that he made. He's saying that the applicants, which in this case is Khumala and his co-accused, are very dangerous people. They are part of the people that send him to jail. That's what he's saying. Number two, upon sending him to jail, they monitored his communication. And then, as he was explaining that Mr. Khumalo appointed Moyane, then there was an objection of Mshololo. Here are some of his objections. Mshololo argued that Teffo did not actually bring any application to address the court. He did not bring any application that said, I want to be a friend of the court. He just simply rock up in that court and started talking, which is what Mshololo had the problem with. Above that, Mshololo argued that criminal law has never had such a thing. And I want you to understand and highlight that. Has never had such a thing. Do you understand? And on top of that, Teffo is prejudiciary in placing the allegation on his clients, on her clients. Sorry, is putting a lot of allegations. I mean, the allegations that were actually mentioned above. Now, let us first discuss and start with whether there was ever such a law in South Africa, criminal law. I'm going to read a friend of the court. In Latin, they call them amicus curiae, something like that. I don't know whether I'm correct, but it's amicus curiae. So it's not part to the case, but a person or a body who assists the court by providing an expert legal argument, information, and perspective that might help the judge to reach a just decision. Right? So, that being said, now we want to know, because Mshololo never said it never happened in civil matters or constitutional matters. It does happen a lot. But he said it has never in South Africa been seen around the criminal cases such as this one, I guess. So it has actually been there. It is there. It is allowed. Even if it is. There is no case that I can point here, but it is allowed. So a court, you don't automatically get it, but a court can accept such. A court in a criminal case can allow amicus if the court grants the permission and the matter involves the public interest. In this case, I think the box of the public interest has been ticked, or constitutional issues. E.g., rights to fair trial, privacy, equality, etc. In a criminal case, when is it allowed? You cannot automatically go there. Here are conditions when it could be allowed. Number one, you must be an expert or have information that is relevant to the case. For example, constitutional right, policing procedures, forensic issues. Your participation serves the interest of justice. Number three, neutrality. You must be neutral, not assisting either of the accused. This is where the problems start, because upon Teffo submitting that, he then went on to say that he even opposed the presence of Mshololo in that case. So that now goes to the neutrality part. He doesn't seem like a person who's coming there as a neutral person. Because you want to be a friend of a judge, you've got to be neutral, because at all times, the judge is assumed to be neutral. Well, doesn't often happen, but that's the case. And you get that permission from the presiding judge. So in his submission, I think already you have stepped on the wrong side, Teffo. So the processes of how you apply, you file a written application, notice of motion with supporting affidavit, and explain your interest in the matter and show the court how your participation will assist the proper administration of justice. And number 4, serve the copies to the states, which is NPA, and the defense. The judge will decide whether to admit you as amicus curiae. Right? Right? Here are examples that have had such is in S versus Mkwanyana in 1995. Amnesty International and NGOs were admitted, or we know NGOs are always friends of the court one way or another. I'm not even going to go deeper to that because that's a case. That was a criminal appeal, by the way, on a constitutionality of death penalty. Right? So it has been there. Let us think Mshololo would need to go down and do her research and understand. But here's where I am. If we remember very well, Teffo, at some point, if I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken, he said Spear was one of the people that were causing him problems, right? He really had a problem with Spear, General Spear. It was a serious problem. Now, here are people who are fighting Spear and seemingly fighting that cabal that he was talking about. And here is Teffo wanting to be friends of the court in defending that from happening. It's not a secret. If it was a secret, it's not a well-kept secret, because if you listen to the testimony or if you listen to ad hoc commit, Spear explaining the situation surrounding the people that were arrested, in a sense, he explained them as his enemies, right? And that would mean they are fighting him. He's even saying that, right? And here you are trying to defend that and stop that from happening. So, what are we to believe when it comes to Teffo? Which side should we be standing on? Yes, what happened to him was uncalled for. We understand. But now I'm confused as to who is actually Teffo's enemy. I know it doesn't look like he likes Mshololo, because all the time when it comes to the case that has Mshololo, so far on the cases that I've watched, he wants her to recuse herself. One way or another, he will say things about Mshololo. So, which side are you? I mean, if my enemies are fighting, I will definitely stand to wait for the one that is wounded and make sure that I take that one on. But Teffo is like, no, I'm going to assist one of you. He's claiming these are people that are his enemies. Now they are fighting in court. What are we supposed to do? You are going there, you are saying, hey, I want to play peace. I want to make sure that this does not happen. These people should not come back. Who's going to finish then this person that you want them to finish? You yourself? I mean, I'm confused. I'm honestly confused. And I'm conflicted, to say the least, when it comes to this. I'm so conflicted. I am. Because I don't think Teffo is acting alone. I don't. I'm not going to lie to you and stand here and think, oh, he's doing this on his own. I don't think so. I don't think so. I really do not think so. You can tell me if you think so. And by the way, the lines are open, guys. So that you can put your 2 cents. Today, the lines are open. You know, the funny thing is that even the prosecutor, in this case, he also agrees with Mshololo that Teffo should file. He agrees with Mshololo. And then Teffo had to respond to that. He had to respond to some of the submissions that were made by Mshololo. He says he's not appealing as a councillor, he's appealing as a mere citizen, an interested South African. He said he is afraid that if he lets this chance go, if he lets this chance pass, he might not get another chance. He might be, in his word, he might be overtaken by the event. Again, I don't understand his position here. And then he says he's amenable to submitting the application as Mshololo and the NPA suggested. Again, what is the point? And then when he said he's objecting to inclusion of Mshololo, that's where the pride stopped. They stopped him. The judge, I think, stops him. I couldn't hear much of what was said by the judge, but eventually it seems as if the judge gave in to some of the submissions that Mshololo had. But here's the funny part. Let's forget about, for now, let's forget about what Teffo said. Then the NPA. The NPA. The NPA stands up and says Mshololo is an applicant to the ruling that was made by Judge Mahlang, who has since recused himself after making that, saying that, citing that actually the reason for that, one of them, it could be the ad hoc and the Madlanga Commission, because apparently he was called there. Last time I checked, what is happening in court should not be disturbed by the ad hoc committee. Remember, these cannot take precedent, because these are merely going to be suggestions to the president, who might decide to execute or not. So you are leaving what is happening in court. You want to cite that whatever that is happening there, or whatever that was testified there about you, is probably what Mkhwanazi said. You are recusing yourself. Then he informed the NPA on those reasons. Then NPA had to look at his recusal, and they are complaining that this is not in compliance with Section 22 of the Supreme Court. Then they are applying to set his decision aside of recusing himself. He's recusing himself. We are applying to say, no, you cannot recuse yourself. That's it. You cannot recuse yourself. You simply cannot. Whether you feel that somewhere, somehow you are compromised. You cannot. Does it make sense to you? So they then submitted that as a result of that they are going to apply to set his decision aside. They are not ready, obvious, to proceed. They are not ready to proceed. But where does this fit in this amendment of pay condition? Where does it fit? Because upon that happening, they were allocated a new judge. And that judge is not there to rule on his brother's recusal. He's not there to rule. He's there to listen and see if he can amend the bail that was put by his brother. And that's the gist of what Mshololo argues then after that. That it has nothing, if they so wish to do that, they can do so. But it should not stop what is happening in that court. And I happen to agree with Mshololo. I'm not agreeing with Mshololo because I really don't know. Maybe they like Mshololo, but I seem to agree with her submission. I'm in agreement with her submission. It really has nothing to do with what is happening in that court. But I can tell you, if you sound like the other side, which for now it looked at now as a cartel, I'm not gonna lie. That's why I'm saying I really do not think Teffo is just woke up and said, I'm going to do this. I don't think so. This is some form of a delay. Maybe this judgment was really, 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 really bad. Maybe it was really bad. So if it was bad, then people might be saying to delay, maybe. And all is my opinion and is alleged. Maybe there is more chance that this could stand. In fact, this bail could be amended. I really, really don't understand, guys. Make me understand. Mhlambe, I'm wrong. But I feel like, and you know what? One day we will talk about some of the things that I've been observing. You know, I've been observing things like I've been for years. When it comes to this circle, you know, there have been people who have been trying to get hold of these advocates that are representing people in Senzo's case. And then upon that, the problem starts. The problem starts. And it never ends. It never ends well. It never ends well. It never. I just don't understand. I don't understand. Okay, let's say in this case, yes, Khumalo maybe might have, but what is Khumalo's interest? Remember, I mean, this is SAP and intelligence. What is Khumala's interest when it comes to Teffo? I'm trying to link it up. Like, I could understand from the other side, but I don't understand from Khumala's point of view. And then again, this speaks to one thing. There has been people who've been preaching and saying these people are one people, but in fact, when you look closely, you realize that actually these people who are saying these people are one person, they are actually playing for one team themselves. There is no other way around this. There is no other way around this. No, like, I'm trying to understand. And you guys are not calling because maybe you are going to come with a different point of view. It can be that my view is the only view. And obvious, this is just a view. Please call. Tell me, guys. I'm trying to understand here. Yeah, South Africa is a boy. I know other people are asking other stuff. It's a boy. Hey, some of the things when we need to sit down and. But honestly speaking, guys, there are powerful people in South Africa. Very powerful. They have everything that you need as a person. In need or not in need, but they have everything that you need. One way or another, they know how to push the narrative. They know. It's like they went to school for this. In fact, I do believe that some of them, they could be agents. I really do believe because they are so good. They get into people's head. You know, greatest minds. Greatest minds. Next thing, yeah, what? You, honestly speaking, guys, make me understand. Where is this, in fact, going to help Teffo? Where is it going to help him? Because I'm thinking, is it going to change what is currently? It's like, so in a sense, we are saying Khumalo is part of the people who are in the judiciary. In fact, you might as well say he's part of what we are seeing in Senzo's case, allegedly. You might as well say that because all the problems, I know they might have been carrying from other cases that Teffo did, but they started accelerating more when he took Senzo's case. I mean, even he says that. And then I'm trying to find the interest of Khumalo in Senzo's case. It's not like he was there when he was suspended. I mean, it's not like he was there. He was ever there on the scene. There's something wrong, but we will wait for Teffo to submit and we will hear that submission. And we'll come here and analyze it. If it has facts, we'll tell you, yeah, it has merits, it has facts. But how do you prove that your phone was bugged? And how do you prove that it was bugged by a certain person. It's difficult. You need super intelligence. Basically, you are dealing with intelligence. You need more intelligence. It's going to be difficult, but we will wait and see. Maybe there's going to be readings from the system, because even the system of bugging, for that matter, it is not in a sense legalized. It's not something that you can go and say, oh, give me that system that you bugged me on. I want to see if in fact, give me the system that you bug people on. I want to see if my number is not there. It's not like you can woke up and do that. Not unless there is something. Maybe. If now I'm going to get my certain things back, okay, sharp. I understand if that is the case. I can't fight that. But I'm telling you, I'm gonna go South African fate. Now I hear you says, I agree with you. That happened in front of the judge. But I'm saying South Africa. South African fate. We can sleep today, we speak one, we sing from one book, and then tomorrow we are different. That's what we call intelligence. That's what we call intelligence. So what I said yesterday, it shouldn't be the order of the day today without you confirming it with me. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand where is Teffo's position here actually at. I'm trying to understand, because you look at how powerful the people that took him to jail are, and then you think, yeah, but let's wait. Let me hear this. Mr. Anonymous, don't you have a brain to spare? General Sbia is in desperate need of brain donation. Allegedly. Hey, good half of it. You can't donate with your brain. Yeah, but yeah, it's tough. Let's see what happens. Hey, but hey. I will always say but. Yeah, when it comes to this game, what I've realized, this is, for me, it has tended to be, I know there are serious things, but it's a game. And when it comes to this game, you must be serious. They ring the circle, they do everything that you think a person could reach a limit. Let's take, for example, an issue of one of the TikTokers here, and not actually TikTokers, is there on social medias, and almost all of them. Zero, for example. Things are happening because it's saying things that are not liked by the elites. But upasopo umuntu onjalo akafi bayahamba around yena nca yena andizi wena uzofika uhlale naye befike bethathe wena ufike wena uhlale naye bethathe nicula into efanayo, you're singing the same song but bathatha wena. So that's my problem. That is my problem. Some of the things we cannot say it out loud, but yay, avoid. Hey, be careful. Be careful. Ungayingeni lento yokuthi uthi, hey, mina I wanna do this thing. I wanna be 1, 2, 3. because you are looking at this person who's doing it and getting all the fame and all that. You don't know which team he's playing for. Do your research. Maybe you might find something. Abanye abantu ba dangerous la ngaphandle. Now you think, oh, we're doing it for, hey, wake up. Vuga. Wake up. It can be. It can be. It can be. It can be that when Anjuloku ring lead to Yasala when every time when things are happening, you know, people get sick and I bo when we are sala when aye. That's when you start looking at you, decide, It's not right. Let me out completely. That's the best you can do. Just say, let me out completely. Let me out, please. Because if you don't say that, but again, just check it. Just sit back and watch and try to analyze from the beginning to the till now. Till now, there's a common denominator. Common denominator. Just check. Not gonna say much. Just check. There is a common denominator. Futhi ke be careful umuntu ozwana nale nhlobo le. I won't say, but umuntu yena nje into zakhe vibe tape and she or he mthola most of the time engara, but uhlala nalaba kube ngu-email ngikhona ngabe nginikhombisa isandla ngaphandle manje, yabo, uhlala nalaba but uvikelwa yilaba. Uze ngikhuluma izinto eziningi angiphume. Let me just bow out. This was just a rant. Allegedly. Magugqobile. Sorry. Good thina abantu bakithi. Tina we are gullible. I'm just gonna say this. We are gullible. Tina and basithola kanjalo vele. We are so gullible. We have that thing where we wanna play heroes for people who would never play a hero for you. So let's be careful. Even if you're still thinking, think twice. Think again. Mzansi, hello. Oh, I'm so glad. Someone called. Mzansi,
Mr.
hello.
Anonymous.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
I'm all right.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, sir. Firstly, I think you also need to appear on the ad hoc committee for not taking our call for so long. You need to be investigated somehow.
Hey, politiki. What?
Hey, ibhidlingile futhi.
Ipolitiki umdlalo wemaxoki.
Hayi kushubile.
Yeah, I'm with.
What should be? No, I think if it is, I'm listening to your point, I'm like, maybe as South Africans, like we are not angered or angry enough to what's unfolding in front of us.
Mm.
So now people like Teffo want to still stay on the spotlight because they feel like maybe this is, to them, this is still the game that they are used to.
Mm.
You know, I don't feel that anger from all South Africans throughout the country and the world, wherever we are, because there's a lot going on here, and there's a lot that's being exposed to us. And for somebody to say, I just want to be a friend of the court, we don't need no friends of the court right now. We need accountability.
Mm.
You know, we need somebody to be held accountable for what they've been doing and what they did. We're not trying to have like useless court filings like that.
Yeah.
But I think maybe he's coming from a point where he's like, well, people are not angered enough by this. That's how I look at it.
I hear you. I hear your submission.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I have no much to say. That's just how I feel right now. That maybe we're not like responding the way we should be. We're not as angered. We're not asking as many questions as we should be. That's why people still think like they can stay on the spotlight.
No, how can you ask questions? I mean, things are unfolding in front of you. You know, people are jogging. It's happening, man. It's a lot of things, and just coincidences are happening, and the media is so quiet. Oh, their silence can be heard. And
the responses are so gaslighting. It's like, oh, this is the answer, so get on with it. And like, so that's it. That's what you're gonna tell us, and then we should just move on.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I think as a country, this is awakening for us, but we should be asking even more questions. We should be angered by all of this. Otherwise, we won't have no country in the future. There won't be no country at all.
Ntokozis is submitting that we are angry. However, we are divided by political parties who prescribe different but useless remedies.
Maybe in this response, maybe we shouldn't be looking at political parties right now because everybody is affected by what's going on. It don't matter your political party, it don't matter your race, it don't matter your view, it don't matter your tribe.
Yeah.
You are affected somehow. So are we going to look at it like that only, or are we going to say, this is my country? Like, we got kids, you know. We want our kids to grow up in this country. So are we going to look at it like that as a political party, as my race, or as my tribe? Or we're going to see my country is going down the drain? I think that's what we should try to, like, discuss maybe as a country. This has nothing to do with your party, your race, or your tribe. This is affecting you as a South African.
You know how much this is saddening me because there are people who cannot even see that the country is going down. No, there are people who still sees something in this country.
I agree with you. Mr. Anonymous, on that one. And that's said, you know, trying to convince people that, hey, the country is going down. You know, are we trying to rescue it, or we just going to watch our country go down in flames? And I think Ntokozis is right when he says most people look at it as in a political way and think, oh, maybe it's still politics. But if you look at the broader
tribalism in it, it has a bit of tribalism in it. Don't forget to throw it there. You know what makes South Africa a unique country is that we have tribes. We have tribes, a lot of them. So if at the time my tribe has a president, I don't look at anything negative.
No, he is my tribe, so he cannot do no wrong.
Exactly.
He cannot be held no responsible for no wrong because he's my tribe.
Exactly.
Yes. This is why we are where we are today. Because every time we look at something going wrong, we're like, oh, well, he's my tribe, or well, he's my race,
Yes.
so he cannot do no wrong.
Exactly.
But yes, but right now, our country is going down. It's going down, and we are here watching. And look at the responses from our leaders. They're like, get on with it. This is the answer. Get on. I don't know that person, so that's it. I don't care about the video, about the pictures, nothing else. I just don't know that person.
No, it's because they are
We should
you are
move
not
on.
going to do anything. You know, there is shorid. In South Africa, it's almost, there is shorid that nobody's going to do anything. You know what?
Yes.
We wait for, let me find a way of putting it right, because I almost called people's name. There are people who have created this mentality that they are messiahs of the truth of when it comes to South Africa. And many people fall to those people. But you see what those people do? They have realized that there's a gap between us acting and whatever that is crime that is happening on the government side. So what they do, they get information and intel, and they use that intel to bargain. And then they keep quiet after that. They will make noise. Couple of days, they will make noise, and then they stop. And then they come back and blame you and say, yeah, yes, I did 1, 2, 3. You guys were just, but you when you look at the improvement of that person, you're like, but you were here, now we are here, now we are there. People, there is a gap in South Africa. If you can know how to make noise, you have a bit of following, you will make a lot of money. You'll make a killing.
Yes. And that's why, Mr. Anonymous, we need channels like yours so that we can keep the small voices out there and we make as much noise as possible. Because if we think we're going to look in the mainstream, we're going to find just one narrative there. There's nothing else.
Now, the funny thing,
they know what they want to talk about.
Yes. The funny thing is that now they're no longer buying the mainstream only. They also buy us.
Oh, yeah, we're in trouble then.
And you know what is nice about us? It's only me and Emily. It's only me and Emily, and I'm most probably cheaper.
Yeah. we are in trouble. We are in trouble.
So that's a problem.
We are in trouble. So they're going to say, hey, we can give you this much money, just stay on this narrative. That's it. And that's all we need.
You see, the problem with me, they cannot just only buy. They can also threaten.
Yeah.
It's a straightforward thing. Like, it's up to you, man. We saw your kid going to that school. Even now, I can tell you your kid is eating food outside. It's up to you what you do. Here's what I give you. Obvious. Next thing you hear me here coming and saying things, you're like, huh?
Well, all I can say is that none of us is to stay in the fight as long as possible, because we need voices like yours. And my appeal to all South Africans is to make sure that we show that anger, and we try to look at this outside of who you are as a single person. Just look at this as my country. Just try to love our country enough and be angered by all what's going on right now.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir, for taking my call.
Thank you. I saw someone else calling. Keep them call coming. And I hear you. Human rights for illegality is defended by the courts. DA minister thinks ZEP must be reinstated. Let me tell you something. That speaks one thing. You know, who started ZEPs? I think ZEP started during the times of Gigaba. That's where you have to take it from. You can't chop the tail without looking at the head. So that's where the head is at. But to show the cohesion and to show the alliance that is formed against us, maybe then you can attribute it to that. That's my submission to you. Because when we say this is one thing, whether it's blue, whether it's, then people say, there you go. Yeah, well, that's the thing. But all I'm saying is that this did not start today. Who started it? Why did they start it? We suffer. Today we are enemies with our brothers because people decided to go to their countries and extort some of the things, going with these companies that we have validated here in South Africa, that are foreign companies. And now we are one of in this deep. And then they've went there as a partner, black empowerment. Then they that's why they're gonna go on a podium in public and say South Africa is xenophobic. Mzansi, hello. That's why they're gonna go on a podium, some of them, and say, hey, we are disappointed. And you guys look at those people and you say, we had the best, what. Have you taken time to look at the decisions that were made and the impact now? You know what is funny about this animal that is called economics? A decision that is taken now might take years to impact you. Now, for example, I can go borrow money from IMF, borrow money, and I'm borrowing in dollars. When the time comes for the next president to pay this money, it becomes an issue. And then the problem with South Africans, in time series, we say there is what we call a legs. So when you create a model, your parameters are sort of legs. Mzansi, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm good. You speak with my daughter here in Cape Town.
Oh, my daughter.
I know, tell me. I just want to ask something about Advocate Teffo.
Yeah.
He was a policeman.
Yes.
Okay. That department, I so wish it can just be restarted. Everyone is there, it must go out. That thing is very deep.
If they go out without us tracing where the problem starts, guys, you see, I think we're cutting the tail here. Yes, there is crime within the SAPS, but SAPS, then there's people above.
I believe this type of the investigations, they privatize it behind the scenes.
Yeah.
There are people are from outside the country are so deep. Now, the others, they hate that thing at a very later stage.
Mm-hmm.
You will find out there are the big bosses there. They call it Paul Sullivan. He have a lot of information. When you start to tell him who he is, his group attack you. It's a lot of things happening there when I check. But says that all these things, they cover with the profession. You must be a lawyer. But even those lawyers, they can't even do nothing. The politics, they can't even do nothing. I believe we have to go back to the drawing board. Which strategy we can adopt and use to run the country? starting from the president to go down.
Would you agree with me if I say to you, our presidents don't run this country?
You don't.
So, you know what I've realized as we deal with these court cases?
Yes.
These so-called courts, in my opinion, they are a tool that is funded by people perhaps coming from outside. And they make sure that the laws do not change. And those laws will govern us. And then they have just there and there the police that are there to make sure that they govern us. Those people, they keep on mushrooming as people who are interested in our laws, who are interested in, but when you trace them, where they come from, mostly they are not born from this country.
Even now, I'm expecting the Madlanga, one of the days, he's going to recuse himself. This recusal, all of a sudden, the other ones, when they recuse themselves, they say, no, you can't recuse yourself.
Yeah.
You must come. You the one must be the head of this.
Yes.
It tells me there is something. And that thing is very dangerous.
You can never cut this process. I'm telling you, one of the most uneducated person suggested that we change the laws. And to me, it was not clear at the time. But as I'm watching how these courts can overrule some of the things that were put by your so-called president and whatnot, and then I realized we are under siege.
Even what is very surprising, there's someone, I think 2022, there was a rumor, you know this person is your nephew. They said, no, it's not mine. Just recently, he take a walk, he parked in front of that person, it was accused of. All of a sudden now, he knows that person and the mother also. He knows, only to find out the mother, she's a lady, she was there, other provinces, she was on the municipality also, and she was on top. I believe we are on crisis.
It's crisis. Unfortunately, all we can
even
do
someone who can believe on the politics, sorry for that person. There is no such thing. If you are the politician, you only for your family, not for country.
Politics is a religion.
And thank you very much, but it's last, I think we believe I'll miss you a lot, and most especially the family. I'm still following, just watching.
Thank you.
But therefore, there is somebody who pushing there. And he have his mission.
Yeah, let's wait and see.
But so that it will depend which faction is bigger than the other. If the people are behind Teffo, they will achieve what they want to achieve. But a layman like me, you don't know that thing. But at a later stage, you will see.
Yeah. No, I get you.
General Khumala, he can lose a General Mkwanas. Bye-bye for him. But because of Mkwanas, he will win his fight. Thank you, Arno.
That's prophetic. Thank you. That's prophetic. Right. My people, you have done the best. Oh, there is someone. Mzansi, hello.
Hi, Misano.
Hi, sir.
I'm good. Thanks for the good job. I have been missing in action, but I've been following up on the video way later.
Yeah. No, thank you.
All right. I've got few points. The first one is always the one that is on my heart. It's the sense of your case.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, at least from all the testimony of Sidia in the ad hoc, at least he came and told us what he knows. And I can take what Sidia says, because Sidia was there. He is not like someone told him or whatever, or read a statement. No, Sidia was there. And if Senzo died at 7:30, 7:30 in October, it's not dark.
No, it's not. It's not.
Very, very light, very light. And if he was shot in 7:30, and then now when we go to 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, for me it should have been announced at 8 o'clock. It should have been on the news at 9 o'clock.
Yes.
Easy like that. Yeah. But we only woke up in the morning. That's when we got to know some of us that time. That's one. So I'm saying Sidia did a good job. Mr. Anu, if you don't know Sidia, that General Sidia, and his way of working, you believe Sidia is a good cop. Me, Sidia, I already wrote him off a long time ago because, Mr. Anu, I'll give you a small story. You must put it into context. There are criminals from Zimbabwe who come to South Africa.
Yes.
And then they will be arrested in the South African fight. They will be arrested. And then what is supposed to happen is the Zimbabwean police is supposed to do an extradition order, like to say, this guy that you arrested, we need him here, he has got some cases here, he must come back here. And that never happened. But Sidia would transport these criminals to Beitbridge to hand them over to police in Zim. And I'm talking of ordinary men and women, okay? Yeah. And when they hand them to police in Zim, the police in Zim will just shoot and kill those guys. And I can bet, Mr. Anu, on that side of the story, you only have got one side of what happened. There are a lot of people who are kids to those. I'm not saying I'm not defending a criminal, but I'm just saying, if he's a criminal, just follow the law.
Yeah.
And then if the guy is arrested in South Africa, he must be extradited to Zimbabwe. And then he must go to a court of law and be sentenced. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong.
If you then just shoot him and kill him and the person is dead, you are going to have these kids that don't have parents. And because it's not the crime that the parents did. No, it was the process that was not followed. So I'm telling you, there are many kids in Zimbabwe who cry because of Sidia, because their parents were killed. That's one. Okay. And then I look at the ad hoc committee. I didn't watch every part. I only watch, when they go on too late. That's when I watch. But the earlier part, sometimes I miss them because I'll be sleeping.
Yeah.
But that's my 2 cents, Mr. The Source guy, I think his name is Ashley Source. The Source guy. I think it's from Patriotic Fund. The guy, when he is busy attacking a person, whether the person is Zimbabwean or is proud to be Zimbabwean in some community, you shine. But Mr. Ano, all the problems we encounter in a country, it's not about whether you're Akahambe or Amahambe or something like that. No. There are deeper issues that you need to apply your mind. You see now, he's being exposed because he doesn't come up with proper questions. He's trying to protect your Kenipunenes in that ad hoc community. You can see from this question that, this question. Yeah. And there's another colored lady. I'm sorry. There's another colored lady. I don't know her name. But I remember her. I was watching with my wife. I remember the first time when I was listening to her. She was interrogating Masemora. She was interrogating the commissioner. The way she talks, man, if I was Masemora, I was going to stand up and go out and come back later and say, can you please talk to me nicely? Because she's talking like to a kid. I mean, there's a better way. The way you convey a message is always the best. It will be a reflection of you. Yeah. If they've got a question, can you just put a proper question? Don't look like you want to undermine a person or something, or you want to show that today I'm in a position of power. No, it's not like that.
Yeah.
Put a question. Yes. And I would want to commend the MK guys, Skosana. He has been doing a good job in that ad hoc committee. And then I would just quickly touch Mr. Anu on the ZEP. Those ZEP. I know when you guys talk about the ZEP, especially in South Africa, it's more political. But me, I happen to know. My mom used to be on that Zep, so I understand quite well what happened. I'm not telling you from what people are saying. I'm telling you the idea, mate, was, and you cannot blame Gigaba, Zuma, no. The idea is you who have illegal immigrants who are coming from Zimbabwe, who are in South Africa, and there are many of them. Like the idea was, you are not going to do anything, Mr. to stop them because there's no border. That is the main issue.
Yeah.
And once they are here, what is better to register them so that I know where they are, or to let them roam around without knowing who is who here.
Yeah.
That's why they said, no, I'll give you a visa. You need to apply, and so that we can know, and you even start paying your taxes because they're now registered now. Like we are formal.
Yeah.
So in that way, it was to identify, and it started with 288K number. I know the number, and then in each year it was going down because this 288K. Some people were applying some visas, like a valid visa. So once you apply for a visa, you don't have to apply for a ZEP. And it has been renewed by, it's not DA that is starting to renew this ZEP. ANC has been renewing it for so many years.
Yeah.
It will be there for 2 years and then they renew it. But the idea is to regulate so that you can know where is what. Because I know most people, when they talk about illegal foreigners in South Africa, they will just think the solution is to deport them. Mr. Ano, the solution is not to deport them. Because if you are not involved, you will think deporting is the solution. I'll explain to you how. When you deport a person, Mr. Ano, you take them to Lindela for repatriation. In Lindela, you transport them to Bedbridge. But when you transport them to Bedbridge, the person will arrive back in Gauteng before the truck or the bus that took them to Bedbridge arrives back. Because because they just cross. If they are eager to go to Zimbabwe to see their family, they will proceed and go there and see their family. But if they are not, you just come back. And what you have done there is that you literally wasted your time because you just took them there and then they come back and then they go and stay where they were staying. Yes. So it's not the solution. The solution is probably just to identify where they are so that you know who's here. Yes. And then once you know who's here, you'll be able to track, okay, this is the guy we are looking for. Because when you apply for that ZEP, you've got fingerprints. And even with those fingerprints, if there's a crime, you can actually link that these fingerprints, they are for me. They are for this guy. But unlike a situation where a person just crosses from the Limpopo River, comes here, and then says, commit a crime, you don't know who is the person.
Yeah.
So that is the concept. You need to know who is here, so that if there's anything wrong, you'll be able to attack. So that was my 2 cents on the ZEP. And then police in general, Mitano, I know people use think what's this guy? Dear in sense of when he's saying they are beating me up, you think that the guy is making up the story. But you see, this guy, this chief of staff and even he's scared of police coming to his house at night. He's scared. And they will start putting stuff here. And you can see that is reality. And we are not talking about a Tom and Jerry of Saps. We are talking about the deputy commissioner, the second in charge.
So for the sake of this channel, all is alleged, right?
No. All is alleged, Misano. It's all the allegations, right? That's all good. Thanks.
Thank you. Cool. Oh, well. All is alleged, and the views are that of the caller, not of the channel. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your contribution. We appreciate you. This channel, we allegedly. Thank you, guys. Thank you for hosting with me. I appreciate you, all of you. Until today. Bye.